Welcome to the 48th episode in the martial poetry series. In this video, we're going over a Yang style Taiji movement called Strike the Tiger. So movements like this. So immediately apparent in the movement, or at least it was immediately apparent to me, how does this strike the tiger? Well, maybe the tiger's leaping at you and you strike at him, but really if the tiger's leaping right on you and you strike at him like this, by the time you get to here, he's already on top of you, and it doesn't really sound like a good position to me. So the actual idea of what this is that the tiger's underneath you actually. If you want to fight a tiger, not that you ever should, but you want to be on top of them, almost riding them, because then they have to turn and try to get you. You don't want to be in front of the tiger. That's the last place you want to be, right? Not that I have experience hunting tigers or fighting tigers, but that's the way it's depicted at least. And you might see murals of like ancient warriors fighting like beasts like tigers and bears and such, and you usually see them straddling the animal and then beating them to death, right? And that's kind of what the image is here, right? This here is like, I've got the tiger here and I'm beating him to death, right? So you might even see the murals and different illustrations where they're like this over the tiger. The image is portraying like you're beating him to death, right? So that's the image, and that creates the shape of the movement. But then what does it have to teach us about the movement and about the art itself? Because it's not only just portraying an image, but it's also portraying a concept. And that concept is the tiger underneath your legs. The tiger is there metaphorically throughout all of Taiji. What we talk about it and refer to it as is the dong. The dong is the Chinese word for arch or archway, and it's basically the archway between your legs no matter what position you're in. Whether you're in a bow step, there's this archway here, horse step, archway here, X step, still archway here, cat step, archway here. So what does this archway mean, right? It needs to have pengjin. If you're familiar with Taijiquan, you'll know what pengjin is. It's basically this expansive force, this omnidirectional expanding force. And it's the primary jin of Taijiquan, right? So if you've seen my previous video on a grasping sparrow's tail, you'll see peng lu ji an. And peng is meant to convey this kind of like expanding ball-like quality. That has to be in the legs as well, not just the arms and the body. So this is what it's referring to with the legs. There has to be pengjin here, almost as if you're riding a tiger. So if something is trying to press in on your legs, right, if you don't have the tiger there, right, there's emptiness so they can press in on your legs and disrupt your balance. But if there's a tiger there, they're now pressing on your legs, but that leg is now pressing on the tiger. They're pressing on the tiger directly. So it's going to be a lot harder to collapse your legs. So we use that imagery to help us with peng within the legs. So when we take a stance, right, if something's trying to push us from outside, right, it should be resistant. Not that you're pushing back. That's not what it's at all. It's the same idea with pengjin. You maintain this constant expansive peng energy that as if there's like a ball underneath your legs pressing outwards. And then anything that's trying to push you or pull you, it should be met as if they're trying to push a giant ball, but the ball just, as you press in outwards, it just gets bigger the other way. So it's hard to collapse. So that's the idea. So when you stand in this position, right, there needs to be strength within those legs. One of the possible applications of this is throwing someone over your leg. So there needs to be some strength there. Not necessarily like muscular strength that you're just tensing, but there needs to be a structure there, a structure to trip them over with. But if you don't have that, if you don't have the tiger underneath your legs, metaphorically speaking, then as you try to trip them over, you'll end up tripping yourself up. So there needs to be a structure there. So that's the idea of striking the tiger. You're striking him from above, and you have that metaphorical tiger in your legs, keeping them balanced. Makes it a lot harder for people to uproot you and move you around, which is essential in Taijiquan, because it's a lot of wrestling involved in Taijiquan. It's trying to dissipate force, trying to redirect force, trying to trip them up and then take them down. So there's a lot of wrestling in it, which means you need a lot of root, because otherwise you're easily taken around. Because if you think if I have to unbalance them, they might try to unbalance me. So I should be working on my own balance. So in this, we're working on our root and the dong, the metaphorical archway. So it's trying to build that balance, build that structure within the legs. All right, thank you very much. See you in the next video.